Like, yeah, they'll explain it a little bit, but they're really just reiterating what's already on the packet. There's no creative freedom or creative liberty anymore in the education system for the teachers to teach how they need to based off their class or based off that maybe that one student needs it done this way. And if they try to help, because I have a couple friends who are teachers, and one of my friend in Texas, her biggest complaint about the education system down there is when she finally
I'll wait to introduce myself.
Yeah, 1 second, 1 second. I just want to let Adam kind of land his point here, and then we'll bring you in. Go ahead, Adam. I'm sorry.
When she finally found a method that properly worked for this small group of kids, and she was dedicating a little bit more time to them because they were special needs, the school, the dean, or I'm not sure it's called the principal, the dean, whatever, the head of education for that school, directly told her, don't do that, do it this way. And she said, yeah, but that way doesn't work. This way, look at their test scores, look at how much better they're doing. And this guy was like, I don't care, do it the way I'm telling you to. We have to abide by these guidelines. It's the law. And she's like, that's ridiculous. So I, as a teacher, have no authority, power, or control in my classroom to actually teach these kids. I am just like here to grade papers.
Wow. I mean, you make good points. You make good points. I want to go to Stallion the Italian, which again, I like the name because I'm Italian myself. So a little Rocky Balboa, right? Hey, yo, Adrian. So let's go to Stallion. What's your views on this? Welcome to the show, by the way.
Hi, I want to talk to Adam actually.
Oh, okay.
Adam, good.
No, ma'am. I have a lot of friends though who are teachers.
Okay, never mind. What's the panel about?
Well,
what's the panel
about? We're talking about the lack of education in America. We're just not seeing it. We're seeing grade levels literally going down the drain, more or less. We're raising a generation simply that can't function without AI. Right? I mean, literally. I mean, you speak to someone that was born probably after 2000, and I'm not being mean. I'm being honest here. I mean, they can't simulate a sentence without going to a source to try to up boost it a little bit. I mean, this is a systematic failure in our nation. Okay.
I mean, like, these kids don't write in cursive anymore. These kids probably don't even know how to mail a letter. I mean, I think that's just something that should be taught in schools: how to mail a letter, how to do your taxes, yada yada yada.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, life skills. I mean, they go out there. I mean, going out there telling people what 2 + 2 is not going to. But hey,
cursive. They stopped teaching cursive is because writing the AI can read.
Cursive is a meaningless exercise in writing. You can go to calligraphy classes if you want to write that, but an average person does not need cursive. We have computers.
But it was good for expanding that.
Well, hold on. Let me challenge that for a minute here. So the importance with cursive actually resonates in the business world to this day. If you can't simply write, well, hold on. Let me finish. If you can't simply write your name as a signature in cursive, how are you going to, I know we have gone to the digital age of emails and text messages and everything else, but we still use letters to this day in certain business aspects of the, of the society today in America. I mean, we still have to learn how to write our signature and everything else on letters, business heads, all that. So it's still very much important. Yeah. Well, yeah. We'll go to you. We'll go to you, user, and then I want to kind of like open up the panel a little bit. But yeah, go ahead.
I'd like to say I went to school before the Department of Education.
Okay.
One of the things is that the Constitution and the Bill of Rights are written in cursive. So if you don't teach generations how to read or write cursive, they will not be able to read the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence. Okay, that's one. The second one is when I was in school before the Department of Education. We were taught the basics: reading, writing, arithmetic, social studies, geography, all of that. I see now is that they have moved away from those subjects and they're spending time on, I don't know what they're spending time on because they can't, we're producing eighth graders that can't read at a third grade level.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I hold on, guys. I want to go. Yeah, guys, 1 second. I want to go back to the mod because I have my mod here on TikTok that she kind of want to weigh in her views and her opinion. So we're gonna go to Lily. Go ahead, Lily.
Okay, so in January the 12th, it seems that children were able to walk out in middle school and protest against ICE in Minnesota, and I kind of think that that is not an educational response for a teacher to allow this. I think like I said before, I think these schools need to be investigated. I think these teachers need to be investigated, and I think we need to change how our school system is working right now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now I want to play this video here. There's a video that was catching some attention towards this light here. One second, pal. 1 second. I want to play this video here, okay? I'm going to keep you up here, okay? But I need you to kind of when I'm talking, you just respectfully, you got to mute. So I want to play this video here that's kind of catching some attention. Okay, this gentleman was featured on Joe Rogan, and he gets into the very, very issue of what we're seeing wrong in America. Check this out, guys.
I think that education is a massive failure in America. I mean, it's gone down the toilet. And it's gotten so politically correct that every year the standards get lower and lower. Anyways, out of this, I realized that, the thing that I came to believe was that modern education has got so many things wrong with it. The stratification of modern education. Like, this is to me artificial. If you look at traditional societies, when a kid, particularly I can speak from the boy's point of view, when a boy got to adolescent, at that point you were thought of as a young man. You were integrated now into adult society, and you were expected to start behaving as an adult, right? Well, we don't really do that anymore. It's like what we see so much coming now, I think, out of even the college age kids is this extended infantilism.
We are seeing that. We're seeing not only the American education system increasingly failing, right, with declining standards, and pretty much trying to throw in this artificial intelligence of a process that they believe that is going to not only advance our next generation, but keep them within the prolonged state of dependency, which I don't buy that bullshit whatsoever. I'm sorry. That's just legacy media rhetoric. That's just trying to be proposed in our system. I don't buy that whatsoever ever. I mean, I'm going to go forward with that, but I'll open up the panel with some thoughts. Anybody want to weigh in?
Like a word, if I may.
Go ahead, Jeremy. Yeah, welcome in, by the way.
Cool. Thanks for having me, Savage. I appreciate it, brother. And shout outs to your pawpaw.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, he's doing well. Thank you.
You're welcome. And hey, there's some stuff here in the state of West Virginia when you're talking school systems. Our Board of Education has just screwed our little county here in this area. Just by
northernmost county in West Virginia.
I'm sorry.
The northernmost county in West Virginia, right?
No, this is it's already on the internet, so it's out there news. So Rome County, West Virginia, where I'm referring to. I mean, this place has been under this liberal views, democratic way of thinking or whatever, because they have now they consolidated several years ago 2 high schools, and I can understand when you consolidate in low-income counties to make things happen. But they built this brand new school, and then years later, with their football programs and things, and sports are just seem to be so important more than education. They needed AstroTurf. Wouldn't do it, couldn't do it. So then the C-19 takes over in time. And then out of miraculously, they have all this funding for AstroTurf. Now in the past 2 years, 3 years, they've managed to put a middle school up there next to the high school after 15, 20 years or whatever it's been up there, and consolidated to one location. Now kids and parents and bus routes, it's horrible what's going on with the bus routes and kids having to, it's ridiculous. And they're, because the reason why is because their democratic views have finally financially overran the system. You cannot continue to have grants that have, supplemental time limits. And when they run out, you continue those grants. You have budgets and they just continue and continue on. And now this school system has filed for state of emergency twice, maybe 3 now, I don't know, but I do know of twice, just so they can pay the teachers.
Well, Jeremy, I like to weigh in, buddy, because we are catching some attention. We're catching some attention on other platforms. There's people actually viewing us right now on YouTube, and I actually have a comment coming in from YouTube. I'll basically read this off. Don't give. But Jiggy is basically saying, how can we educate the uneducated, okay, when we constantly go through budget cuts in the educational system? That's a good question. Thank you very much, Jiggy, that that kind of brought that in. That's a damn good question. Like how I'll give him or her that thought. Like, how can we institute it with the budget cuts?
The Department of Education spread that money to the needed districts. That's what you do. Obviously. To speak more on West Virginia.
Yeah, I understand that, user. I understand that, but here's the problem. President Trump had instituted that agenda to the state level. I hope we're on the same. Yeah, I hope we're on the same level here. Like, here's the problem. Here's the problem. We have, it's not a federal issue. It's a state issue. Yeah.
Ohio and West Virginia both have massive issues. So Ohio is trying to expand its private schooling with public school funds. They recently cut education by $1 billion to pay for the Browns' new stadium in Cleveland, as well as they're keeping a law on the books which means that public school bus drivers must prioritize private school students before the route can pick up public school students. And that's not fair, because if you have a publicly funded thing, it needs to be for the public, not a private school. As well as this county in West Virginia is, just like the gentleman said, it's not able to pay its teachers this month. I don't know if you know this, West Virginia is not a Democratic state. And in fact, it's one of the most rural counties in West Virginia. Just like I'm in a rural county in Ohio that is very red, voted for Trump 80%, and yet we still have issues with schooling because there's not enough funding, because the state is siphoning that money to private education.
Well, that goes into my argument here. Listen, I got to get a quick. Yeah, I got to get a quick break real quick, but I want to basically put this in. That goes to my argument basically with a piece that I actually put on my flagship podcast with the accountability of wasteful spending, right? Like, there's a project out in California, Gavin Newsom pouring $18 billion. Yeah, 18. Let me make my point. Sir, let me make my point. Let me make my point, okay? I know where you're at. It is wasteful spending, because if the money went to purposes that is actually beneficial, I'm not saying that train station is not beneficial, but sometimes you have to look at your cards and understand that, hey, sometimes education comes first before, your little toys, more or less. I mean, does that make sense or no?
It does, but the little toys is the state house of Ohio siphoning $1 billion for the Browns stadium that no one in the public will benefit from.
I understand that. You're basically proving my point, what I just made with a small example with the train station.
Republicans are siphoning money away from public schools to pay for things that profit for them, such as charter schools, such as private school vouchers,
I
such as
I don't think it's coming out of the. I don't think it's coming out of the right, my friend. I really don't think it's coming out of the right.
Ohio is ran by Republicans for the last 30 years. What Democrat in Columbiana County is removing our school buses, making them ferry private school students first? What Democrat in my county is doing that? What Democrat in my state is doing that? I'll give you a hint. None of them.
All right. I'm going to challenge that point. Hey, bud, I'm going to challenge that point. I'm going to challenge it, okay? But I got to get a break in, okay? Because I am cross-streaming on other platforms, and I have to respect my network, okay? Guys,
The ad break. I get it. Buy his
Can I say something real quick? If I may.
Yeah, 1 second, pal. Let me drop this jerk here. Okay, 1 second. Thank you very much, guys, for joining us here. We're literally streaming all over the place. TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, X. Guys, this April, we're gonna be up in Pittsburgh, PA. That's right, guys. I hope you guys join me. I'm actually taking the show live at Tarleton, Pennsylvania, which makes up Podudi Theater, Harrison's Theater, over there on Corbett Street. My good friend Jeff over there always welcome me back with future shows. Excuse me. So if you guys are in the Pittsburgh area, hope to see you out there. It's going to be 2 formats, guys. You can actually catch me live on their website at poduty.com, which is spelled Poduty, right? That's poduty.com. Tickets are available at events.poduty.com, available in either the live stream or in person. Tickets going for $10, guys. $10, you can't beat it. So join me out there, guys, April 13th through 15th, part of my Stomping Grounds Tour 2026. Back to the show. Yeah, guys on X, why is Savage talking a mile a minute? Well, because I'm in a leftist landmine once again on TikTok, and this is what I have to deal with. Yeah, go ahead. Who's talking? You got five heads talking at the same time.
I was trying to say something before you had the break.
I appreciate that.
Do you mind if I say something?
Go ahead.
Oh yeah. I was trying to talk to the gentleman who just got removed, but I don't know if he's aware of this, but the superintendent of public instruction for Ohio, he says he's a nonpartisan person, but if you look at his policy and the way he budgets his schools and his funding process, they're very, well, I mean, I don't like to say this, but they're Democrat. Like, if you look at it, like, yeah, it might be a Republican state,
Yeah.
a Republican governor, but the superintendent of public instruction, he's basically a Democrat. And if you look at the list of like Republican to Democrat ratio, almost everyone in the public education sector on the state level, registered Democrat. There's only like, I don't know, 20% Republican. So that doesn't. Using politics is really a good method of doing it. But if you want to go down that route,
well, he brought this into play, right? You know, he's blaming, red states, right? Look, folks. On X, you see the graphic right on my screen, right? Students behind their grade level, Out West, 39%. Midwest, 31%. Down south here, right? 29%. Northeast, 31%. Now, let me say something. Yes, out west, there's some red states and everything else. Okay. But where is the main percentage coming from? Right? Where's the main percentage? Right? I look at California. There's a main factor, right? California. Let's go over to the Northwest. A lot of bad red in New Jersey, New York. We'll go over to the Midwest, Minnesota, another one making up that high bracket that represents that 31%. Let's go down south, shall we? North Carolina, there's one right there. Georgia, Tennessee, they're doing pretty good. Florida, doing pretty damn good. Texas, not bad. So the percentage. Okay. And please, guys, I'm not picking on you guys on the left, but those percentage markers are coming from Democratic run areas, whether they're cities or suburbs. They have to do a little bit better. Okay. And I'm not making these figures up. So again, people on YouTube, don't think that my digital team just put in some fake stuff through a template. No, this is actually coming from Fox News, right? Through the Center for Education Statistics. Okay. And this was actually 2024 to 2025. Okay. So I can't give you 2026 because we're not through the entire fiscal year of 2026. Guys, this is exactly, you want receipts? I'm giving you receipts. So, I mean, this is just asinine of what they say.
So, can I make a clarification
God.
on how, this debate between people using public taxes to fund their private schools? What it really is, it is the money follows where the child is going to, whatever school it is. And here's the thing, once that school accepts government funding, they have to abide by a certain amount of government, be it federal or local policies and regulations for them in order to keep that funding. So a lot of the times what made private schools really successful way back when, before they started to accept government funds, is that private schools had programs in place where parents had to volunteer their time to help out at the school, be it help the teacher grade papers or do the school lunch program or whatever. But now, because they've accepted government funding, they are no longer allowed to have programs where you can cut some of your tuition if your parent volunteers at the school. So a lot of these programs are now gone because they have to now deal with Title IX, Title II, Title 1 through whatever, because they're now taking government funding. It's really what it is. It's not that private schools are stealing money from the public schools. It's the fact that the tax money that would have been allocated to that student is now following that student to whatever school that they chose. So I really cringe when people say, oh, well, they're stealing from the public schools. It's like, well, no, they're not stealing. In fact, if we were to keep it what people are trying to have it be, you're actually stealing from the community, because if I am sending my child to private school and I can't use my tax dollars for it, and if I can't use any system in place for it, I'm actually paying twice. I am paying the public taxes for the public school that I'm not using at all, and then I'm also paying an additional amount to send my child to charter, private, or whatever school of their choosing. And it's the same with homeschools too. Homeschool parents have a lot of tax deductibility because they're not using those services provided by the government.
Yeah. Well, listen to this video here. This is actually coming from, where the hell is this from, Tibbs? This is from Teacher Freedom Alliance here. And this is what they're putting out right here. This gentleman that you're about to hear basically saying that all 50 states to teach kids the basics. Yeah, we see that. The basics are a necessity for future growth here. Check this video out. This is interesting because again, the concern is there, and that's what we need to do, guys.
Are you getting a good education in America?
No, you're not. Yeah, I think the education system, and the data would back this up, is as bad now as it's ever been. And you look at that, and there's several reasons for that. But you have an education system that's more aligned with keeping the status quo the status quo. It doesn't treat children as individuals. It is too systematized. And it's got away from the common sense values that we saw in place in schoolhouses across the country. You think about in your head that one-room schoolhouse concept of the community, the families, the engagement, a teacher in front of the kids, a focus on the basics, a focus on, when you talk about math, memorization and masterization of math, and you move forward. And what you've seen are a lot of left-wing forces and ideas that have come into the education system and say, well, we're gonna kind of reshape all of this, and kids are gonna learn in this new way. And you go, well, hold on a second. I mean, we know how to teach kids how to read. We know how to teach kids the basics.
Oh, do you? Let me stop right there. I don't think we have certain educators out there in America literally even understanding where to go with that. And thank you very much, Alicia, joining me on TikTok. I appreciate the hell out of your support. So thank you. Come on up if you like to kind of weigh in your views and opinions. But that's the problem. There's not enough envelope. There's not enough push. And you're seeing that. And again, I can be on this topic for the next 5 to 6 hours. But guess what? It's either going to sink or it's just going to be like a cloud in the brain. It's not going to comprehend it. Again, I mean, we can spend hours upon hours of trying to show material to people of literally what's out there. Okay? And that's what I'm about. I'm about showing things. I'm not just about going on a panel, whether it's TikTok or X or anything like that, without showing what is out there. So, I mean, that's the problem. That's the problem. Look at more of what he's saying here. Yeah, one second. I'll get you your message there in a minute. Look what else he's saying here.
The best performing state. And so it's not good. And what that means is it means a much weaker country economically because you don't have kids living up to their God-given potential. So they're not able to enter the workforce and achieve what they can. And then, frankly, it causes a breakdown of the family unit because you don't have kids that are growing up having cohesive families. You don't have kids that are finding that joy that comes with aligning to those interests. And so you got a much weaker country, and that's what's really scary when you look at the trajectory.
Yeah, it's called work ethic. It's not there. Somebody had a question here on the TikTok panel. Who was that?
It was I. I just wanted to basically give a supporting point to what you were saying, right? In my opinion, a lot of public institutions are more about laundering money, and the basis is you look at a lot of their pay scales and different things like that on the higher end, right? So the administrative staff and stuff like that, not the base like the teachers and all that stuff, right? But here's the other part is that more often than not, government will overpay for things, and the philosophy, and everybody knows this, is that the government's spending philosophy is I better spend it so I can justify or validate my budget and then go over so that way I can get more funding next year. And that's their excuse when, $400,000 for a superintendent, like really? Or even $200,000 or other public, agencies, salaries that are over $150,000 does not make any sense to me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that if they paid all the workers that much money, it would come out to be much more, but I really don't think, those people that are in those managerial positions should be receiving that much money. 150, I can stomach that. That's still in the 1 percentile or 10 percentile in the entire country.
Oh, sure. Sure. So,
but,
here's the question, right? Before we go to other people in the panel. All right. So do you believe it is, again, I have to throw this in because you know how it's going to sit. Okay. Is it more federal government control of education, right? Or how do you see that? Because I have a clip I want to plug, which is going to make sense to what I'm trying to insinuate.
So I would say the issue is the federal Department of Education, right? And it's not really it's the states that don't agree with it are basically having to do certain things, right? But thankfully, we got an administration that was trying to change things and go back to where the states had more control. Because at the moment we get to see the states basically providing the education, we're going to actually get to see the results, and then pretty much the proof will be in the pudding.
Yeah, I hear you. And guys, I promise I'll get you in a minute. I have a lot of hands. YouTube X is blowing up today on this topic. So give me a minute, guys. Check out this video here with Carolyn Levitt. This was actually last year, March 20th of 2025, where she put this out on her Twitter X account here, where she kind of went into the government control aspect of it. And here's where it gets interesting. Okay. Because it's a concern.
President Trump is not failing America's children. He is saving America's children with this action that he will take later today, directing Linda McMahon, our great Secretary of Education, to dismantle this federal bureaucracy that has taken more than $3 trillion from the American taxpayer since its inception in 1979. And what have we had as a result of that investment in our children's education? Declining test scores in reading, writing, and math. Proficiency proficiency levels at record lows for 8th graders, for 4th graders, at every level in every state across this country. That's why the president is returning education back to the people, to those closest to our students in our classrooms, and that is teachers and educators and parents who know what is best for their children. And we are excited about this event that will be here later in the afternoon at the White House. We will have parents and educators and students and also governors from across the country who are excited to embrace this new responsibility of educating our nation's children. I will add one more point. The Department of Education has never educated a child. All it has ever done is stolen money from the taxpayers for more regulation that has hurt our children's education. And it's about time the president...
She's on fire, folks. I mean, Caroline Leavitt. Oof. She's a big contender there. She shuts them all down. So I want to go to my mods here on TikTok. Lily, you have a question?
No, I don't necessarily have a question, but I feel like that state funding should, like state-funded schools, is coming from like your income taxes, your property taxes. It comes from grants. It comes from a lot of other stuff. My children grew up in a charter state-funded school, and I'm telling you, the education from a federal, school is quite different. And if you actually look into it, the test scores are lower in a federal funded school than it is a state funded school.
Interesting you brought that up. Now this is, she brought some numbers in there with the Department of Education, literally spending over $3 trillion since the late 70s without improving student achievement. Literally, I mean, that's, correct me if I'm wrong, almost just about a 50-year high in that. Where is there's no improvement, literally. No improvement within that $3 trillion since the late 70s. No improvement whatsoever. We're seeing U.S. students with record low reading comprehension scores. 70% of 8th graders were below proficient in reading, right? 40% of 4th graders do not even meet basic reading levels, right? This is bad for our country. Literally bad. We are like literally the highest country with these declining numbers, more or less. I mean, here's something. The National Report Card that's been released, like I said, it's not good. I'm sorry. Kids are getting dumber. They're not getting smarter. So where do we change all this? I'm going to go to Jeremy. Jeremy's got his hand up. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Yes, sir. I got so much, but so little time because I don't want to take it away. But, like you were just saying there, go back to, 1984, where George Orwell says you change the words of definitions and time, and then, let the children tattle on their parents, and that falls in the realm of, if you remember, with state funding and grants, children not in school with attendance or whatever, for whatever reasons.
Yeah.
Parents were putting up on charges and things and put in the criminal system for that. And then not long after, children became criminals themselves for fighting or, whatever, smoking things or stuff like that at school. And, they've become criminals. So they themselves have been pushed to lose respect because we all know a lot of kids today don't respect their elders. And then, real quick, as your mod said there on TikTok, that, talking about the kids, all taxes and county taxes and so forth, and I don't have kids, unfortunately, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
I pay my taxes, and yet I have to sit there and pay taxes to something that I'm watching go get flushed down the commode. And that's all these kids' education.
Yeah.
And then just real quick on top of that, here for you to go with is, where is this curriculum and these books and all this stuff coming from? The government doesn't give that to us. Isn't that a private company that makes this education to be?
Well, here's something. Here's something. I'll go real quick on that, and I want to bring this in for relevancy. I was in a panel a few days ago regarding this topic, and of what I was brought into understanding is that the actual books that get passed through, through the process, they're not really looked at all. They're just like, okay, we're just gonna pass it, and that's that. You know what I mean? It's not it's a sloppy mess. You know what I mean? So, I mean, this is exactly what the problem is here. We have this bill here, okay, where Thomas Massey just introduced this here for us folks, which he basically put this into play with the HR 899. Bear with me, guys. I just lost contact to TikTok here, so give me a minute here as we kind of pull this up. I'm not sure what the hell happened here, but wow, what? Jeez. But so as you guys are viewing me on other platforms, I want to go into what I was saying here with the HI 1099 here. Bear with me 1 second, guys, because this is really where it's going to make sense. Okay, the one sentence bill, right, to terminate the Federal Department of Education and return power to teachers and parents. This is it. The entire bill. The HR 899 bill, right, that was passed through the House of Representatives. Literally. I mean, you're seeing this right on your screen, are you not? Literally. I mean, it says it right there in plain English. Literally plain English. So where do we start? You know, it's just, oh my God. This will actually, again, like Trump said, this will terminate the Department of Education and return the power back to teachers and parents. Okay? That's what he said he wants to do. Okay? And this is the entire bill. Literally the entire bill. So I don't know where the confusion is. I really don't. Tibbs, what happened to TikTok? We lost TikTok, folks. I do apologize. I'm not sure what happened. Hopefully we can get that panel back because I'm handling the stuff on TikTok and he's handling my production. I mean, Jesus, good grief, man. So, boy, oh boy. It's one of those days, guys. One of those days. So bear with me. But this is the exact bill that we're referring to. Literally the exact bill of what we're referring to. So, again, I want to close it out with this, guys. How do we improve our education? How? How do we get back the integrity in this country? I mean, we could do a lot of different things, a lot, but we'll always be second guessing each other. Guys, thanks very much for dropping by. I do apologize towards the end. We did lose some content here on our TikTok. I did want to listen to what he was saying towards the end, but it kind of cut out there. A restriction, of course, another restriction on TikTok. So again, guys, I do apologize. Like I was kind of multitasking as I was bringing in the HR 899, excuse me, from Congress. That was going back last year as that was being introduced. So again, guys, I always say at the end, appreciate you coming in. Always appreciate the support. Thank you to my guest panelists on TikTok, my mods, Lily, and a few others that was handling out. I can't do it without you guys. And guys, if you like this show, if you like the content, please hit us with a follow. Hit us with a like. It always, helps the show. You can check us out anywhere, guys. Podcast is heard. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, just about all over the place, guys. I'm Savage. Until next time, guys, take it easy. See you later.
This had been a Truth Productions media episode. Thank you for listening.